Perfect. Can I have you guys' attention up here? Thank you for reading that through silently to yourselves. You guys were just scanning it for information on what you think this is going to be about. So I've never done these great body shop packets before. Have you guys show of hands if you've done one of these before? Yeah. Okay, they're pretty cool. They're kind of like the Time magazines that Miss O'Neill gave us the other day. So I'm excited to read through it. But today we're going to just be looking through and we're going to be using a KWL chart. KWL. So it's a new thing. Oh, whoops, I don't want to use yellow. Too black. Okay. W. L. So these three sections are going to help us get the most information. The K stands for what we already know. What we already know about this packet, what we already know about all these different paragraphs. The W stands for what we want to know, what we want to learn. And then at the very end, we'll come back and we'll figure out our learn column to see what we learned. So we're going to go through these together. I'll write it up here. K means know, what we already know. W means what we want to know. So I'm just going to write want. And then L means learned, what we learned. So after you guys scanned that, what's something that you already knew? Elijah.
The first page, it looks like someone's going to the hospital.
Someone's going to the hospital. We know what hospitals are. Boom. Hospital. All right. What else do we already know? Cruz.
Paramedics.
Paramedics. Yes. You know what? Paramedics and firefighters are all kind of in the same realm. Does anyone know what the big overarching name for firefighters, policemen, paramedics? They do help us. They are our first responders. So let's write that. First responders. Because they're the first people to respond to our crisis. 1 second, small column, right? You guys know last week, we had a little bit of a scare with the fire. You guys remember when everything was so smoky outside and we had school canceled? Our first responders were the people that when they saw that fire, they weren't like, they were like, okay, we got to go take care of that. So we are very lucky to have paramedics and firefighters. Did you guys see fire trucks or firefighters around? Yeah, raise your hand if you did. Kind of crazy, right? They're really brave people. And some of you guys may grow up and want to be a first responder, which is a really cool goal. So, yes, Timo, what were you going to say? What else do we already know?
That someone got rabies from a kid.
You know what rabies is? Yeah, that's good. Does anyone else know what rabies is? Anyone else? Yeah, kind of. Okay, we'll go over it in a little bit. That's perfect. All right, what else do we already know? Super. Perfect. Okay, let's see. What do we want to learn today? After you looked through, what do you want to know? Solana.
How conflict can be resolved?
How conflict can be resolved. That is a great one. How can conflict be resolved? I love that you use the word resolved. Does anyone know what resolved means? Yeah? What do you think it is?
Reading.
Close. Resolved is like how everything comes together, how you can solve a problem. Evelyn, what's something, did you have a want to know? Okay, let's see. Ibrahim, what do you want to know?
What are rabies?
What are rabies? That's a great question. What is rabies? Okay, perfect. Scarlett, what's your question? Is it going to be about our bodies? I'm going to say, how does it relate? Relate to our bodies. All right, and then I'll do one more question before we read. Let's see. Yes, Justin. How conflict is normal? That is a good question. How? Oh, whoops, that's not a very good age. Okay. How is conflict normal? Perfect. Okay. So with this KWL chart and with how much wordage and how many paragraphs is in this Great Body Shop, we're not going to read the whole thing. So what I'll need you guys to do is pay attention and kind of stick with me because we're going to jump around some paragraphs here a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's go to the very beginning of our. Yes.
Also, I happened when my husband
Oh man, that's really scary. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the fire did happen in Camarillo. It was a little spooky, but we're really lucky to have people that keep us safe. So first, let's look up here. We are not going to read this first thing. It's just a little story about how somebody had never seen an ambulance before. And so they asked their mom a little bit about it. So everybody flip to the first page. Look, the rabies page. Look who's watching out for our safety. Perfect. Now everyone skip that paragraph. Go straight down to conflict is normal. This is where we're going to begin. So everybody put your pointer finger on conflict is normal. Right here. Thumbs up when you found it. Pretty sure. Need a thumbs up from everybody so that I know we can go. Bruce got it. Perfect. Okay. Let's start right here. I'm going to read out loud, and then I'm going to have you guys read these steps at the end, okay? So first I'm going to read, you guys just follow along. Even good friends like Tito and Willie can get into arguments and disagree with each other. It's normal for friends, families, and people in communities to have conflict. Last Saturday, Tito wanted to go to the movies. Willie had a free pass to go to the skating rink and wanted to go there. They wanted to play together, but disagreed about the way they should spend their time. They began to argue about it. The conflict resolution skill steps can help them solve the problem peacefully. Pause right there. Everybody skip over to the conflict resolution skill steps. Right over here, it's in green. It's the part that you guys are reading. Show me that you have your finger there. Perfect. Okay, I want you guys to read out the conflict resolution skill steps. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Conflict resolution skill steps. Step
1. What is the problem? Step 2. The response to the problem. What is Tito's side of the story? What is Willie's side of the story?
Perfect. Stop right there. Step 3. What are possible solutions? What might help solve this conflict between Tito and Willie? Step 4. Reach a compromise. What solution might work best for Tito and Willie? I want you guys to all read step 5 together. 3, 2, 1.
Step 5. Get help if needed. By Tito and Billy knows if they need help finding a solution.
Guys, great. Everybody give yourself a pat on the back. You guys stayed together. I can hear everything so clearly. That was one of the best choral. Pat in your head. In fact, patting around your head. That's good stuff, guys. I'm really proud of that. Okay, so let's look a little bit at Willie and Tito's problem. We learned a lot about conflict from him, but I want to question you guys based on what we know about Mr. B's big deals and little deals. Do you think Tito and Willie are having a big deal or a little deal conflict? Let's see. Raise your hand for big deal. Raise your hand for little deal. A majority vote. They are having a little deal problem. It could turn in. Are you going like this? It could turn into something bigger if they don't talk about it and they use their conflict steps. So, what are some steps that they took? Raise your hand and you can read out any step you want. So, Bryce, what's the step? What is the problem? What is the problem? Yeah, that's really important. Sometimes we'll be in an argument where we don't even know what we're fighting about. Have you guys ever been in an argument that you're like, wait, what are we fighting about again? I don't even remember. It's important to talk about what is our problem. Yes, Brooklyn. What step do you want? Step 2.
What's the problem? What
Yes, that is super important. Hearing both sides of the story. That way both people feel like they are involved and they're being heard. Yes, Solana, choose another step. We'll just do one more.
Step 4. Reach a
Compromise. Good reading. Yes.
Reach a compromise. Which solution might work best for Tito and Willie?
Perfect. That is a great step. I'm glad you chose that because the word compromise is the most important word. Who has ever heard the word compromise before? Okay. Who wants to guess at what it means? Compromise. It's a little tricky. Timo, do you know? Maybe you don't have to.
Like Search for an adult. Like us. Like. And supervisor.
Close, that's good. I see where you're going. Bryce, what do you think?
Solve it on your.
Solve it on your own along the right lines. Yes, Jocelyn, last one. Work it out. Yes, okay, hands down, perfect. A compromise is a solution that works for both people. So it's something that where you both kind of have to give a little bit. An example of this is me and my sister. We have two favorite ice cream shops. My favorite is Cold Stone. Raise your hand if you like Cold Stone. Have you guys ever been there? It's the best one ever. It's so good. My sister, she likes Baskin Robbins. So still is good. Raise your hand if you like Baskin Robbins. Okay. So when me and my sister want to get ice cream, we're like, where should we go? I'm like, we should go to Cold Stone. My sister's like, we should go to Baskin Robbins. So we compromise. I say, okay, we'll go to Baskin Robbins this time. If next time we can go to Cold Stone. And she says, okay, that sounds good. So you see how that's a compromise? We kind of meet in the middle. She gives a little bit, I give a little bit. That is a compromise. Okay. Perfect. So let's move on to our next paragraph. Flip over your things. We're going to go to conflict in the community. Yes, Tima. Constructive feedback. Yeah, that we'll talk about how this comes into play too. That's exactly right. Okay, perfect. So conflict in the community. We're not going to read all of this here. But we definitely are going to read this first little part. So everybody follow along and listen while I read to you guys. Fingers on let's look. Everybody thumbs up. You guys got it? Perfect. Let's look at a town in conflict. We'll call the town Watts, but it could be any town, including yours, Ventura. The people in the town of Ventura were in an uproar. They were trying to decide what to do about the Portola Elementary School, which was much too crowded. A lot of people in town wrote letters to the editor of the newspaper. They explained how they felt about the school problem. Others called the school board to complain. Some parents made their children made signs and marched around the school. The senior citizen committee wrote flyers and distributed them at all of the stores downtown. That's pretty cool. So this is how we are seeing adults in their community solve conflict. So I want you guys to pay attention. What do you notice about the similar steps between, you're going to look at the similar steps between Willie and Tito and how these adults work. So let's scooch down just a little bit. After many months, I want you guys to come right here. It's right next to these people at the very bottom. Make sure you guys got it. Show me when you're down there. Perfect. Nice. Awesome. Okay. After many months, they reached a compromise. The seniors and the students would take turns using the gymnasium. Whatever group was not in the gymnasium would do sit-down activities in the school cafeteria. This way, each group would get what they wanted some of the time. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So do you guys see any similarities? I'm not going to ask for some right now, but do you guys see any similarities between Tito and Willie and then the adults? Yeah, you guys are starting to see it. Okay, keep thinking, keep looking back. Just reading these through. Okay, perfect. Let's flip the page now. Just a question. The last page. Let's go up to what might happen. I am going to read this. I'm going to go right here to violence. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th paragraph. Everybody give me a thumbs up when you're there. Oh. Perfect. Thank you guys. Violence has serious negative consequences in real life. People are physically hurt or injured, sometimes permanently. Violence has emotional consequences too, including depression, anxiety, and fear. If you stop to think about it, what consequences can you think of when you hear or read about violence in the news? What consequences happen to people today? So when we don't follow these steps for conflict resolution, it's kind of like Bryce was saying, if we don't do something as simple as talk about what problem we're having, or if we don't hear both people's sides, if we don't try and make a compromise, then our conflicts can escalate. They can go from little deals to big deals really quick if we're not communicating with each other and we're not talking about it. So the more we talk about it, the littler of a deal it is. Just like this, and this is a kind of an extreme case, but when little deals get big and big and big and you don't talk, sometimes violence can happen. And it doesn't have to be physical. Someone could say anything to you and it really hurts. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize how big of a deal that was until right now. So this is all important stuff to think about when you're going through conflict with your friends, your family, or in your community. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want you guys to go down to the next paragraph, right down here, the very last tiniest paragraph right here. Yeah. Everybody show me when you're there. Teachers, students, cool. Bryce, Brooklyn, you guys all there? No, perfect. So perfect. Teachers, school nurses, school counselors, social workers, and other trusted adults are all there to help kids who have problems of any kind. They can also find other people and places that help children, adults, and families with problems caused by anger, depression, and unhappiness. So that means that you guys are not alone in dealing with all of your conflict. Even as you grow up, you will have teachers, adults, we have our first responders, we have different types of people that can help us in different types of situations. So for example, in your school, right here, let's try and draw this out. Oh, that's a little. In your school, who are your trusted adults? Kylie, who's a trusted adult in your school? A teacher, yeah, perfect. Who's another trusted adult in our school? Let's see. Yeah, yard duty, exactly. Perfect. Okay, who's another trusted adult? Jenny. Mr. Beatty, yes, our counselor. Perfect. Okay, we'll just start with those. All right, counselor right here. Okay, now who is a trusted adult in our world? What if we get into an emergency? Who's a trusted adult, Kylie? A nurse, exactly. Noah, who do you think? The police, exactly. First responders, yes, I'm just gonna write FR. That way it stands for that. Okay, let's see, I'll do another one. Edward? Firefighters, yeah. All right, perfect. Now, who are some trusted adults in our house, in our smallest circle right here? Who's someone that we can trust in our house? Mom, yeah. Mom. Solely? Dad, yeah. And if you don't have mom or dad, there's still other people. Here with someone else. Even. Oh yeah, so we'll just put grandpa, grandma, brothers, sister, grandma, I spelled it wrong. Grandma, grandpa, all of those people are your trusted adults. So we have, yes, Tina. Our family, yeah, this is all of our family circle. Okay, perfect. Let's put hands down for those right now. So this is our circle of trusted adults that we can talk to. Now, if you're in a fight with your sister or your brother or your cousin, is it a good idea to call the police? No, because you're jumping into a different circle. That's not right. If you are having a problem with your friend, at school, are you gonna tell your grandma about it? Maybe you can talk to her about it, but she's not really the person that can help you best here. If you're having a problem with your friend at school and it's at recess, who do we tell? If we're having a problem and it's an emergency, a big deal, who do we tell in the circle? Brooklyn Z?
Nurse, firefighter, police, or
First responder. Yeah, I know, I didn't write something. But you guys see what I'm saying? There's different circles of trusted adults that you can go to when you're in conflict. Okay? All right, perfect. Let's go to our last page right here. Everybody flip over. We're going to 3 ways to solve conflict. At the very top, right up here. Okay. I'm gonna read the green words, and then you guys are gonna read as a class what the step is, okay? Ready? So negotiation. 3, 2, 1.
In negotiation, the people in conflict consider their own solution. Using the conflict resolution skills.
Good. Mediation. 3, 2, 1.
In mediation, the person who is involved with the conflict leads people through the conflict and helps them choose a solution.
Good. Last one. Arbitration. 3, 2, 1.
In arbitration, a person as a judge takes the people in conflict through the steps and makes a decision for them.
For them. Good. Great job, guys. That's great. So there's different ways of conflicts. These, I know that you guys just read them. Let's see. Mediation might be something like what Mrs. O'Neill does when there's a conflict in class, or if there's a conflict between you guys or different grades, where she talks to both sides and she hears you guys out and she comes to a solution with you guys. And arbitration might be something more a little bit like the principal, where they're having a meeting with you guys, but they're kind of solving it for you. It's gotten too much, it's a little bit bigger than a little deal. It's getting too big. So that's what arbitration is. Negotiation, that's something that you guys can do on your own. That's something that you guys practice when you're doing compromises, when you're hearing people out, when you're seeing the other side. All of that goes together with negotiations. Let's scoop down to, oh yes, Elijah.
It's the two boys.
It's the two boys. Yeah, look, it may have been Tito and Willie. They may have had to get their teacher involved. They may have had to get their principal. Maybe this is one of their dads. Maybe it's one of their uncles. Who knows? But either way, they realized that they couldn't get to the solution on their own, so they had to ask for help, which is totally okay. All right, let's get down to bully-proof our school. So, I just want you guys to look for the bolded words here. I need people to find the bolded words, and I need volunteers to read them out to me. Layla, what bolded word did you find?
I found, wait, did I say the
You can just say one name.
first one that I found was bullying.
Bullying, yes, that's a big one right there. Bullying behavior. That's kind of what we're talking about. Mr. B's hold on, hands down, I'll ask again in 1 second. Mr. B's kind of talked about bullying. It's when a little deal has happened 3 or more times, or if someone is doing something violent or hurtful or harmful towards you. Big deals and bullying kind of go together. What's another bolded word that we saw here? Let's see. Aspen, what word did you say? Bystander? Which one did you? Upstander. Upstander. We've heard that word before. Aspen, do you know what an upstander is? Do you want to tell us? Okay. See, do you want to phone a friend? See if someone else remembers too.
Bryce.
Good. Bryce, what's an upstander?
An upstander is like someone that you can look up to.
Yeah, that's good. They stand up for bullying. Upstander, a person who takes a stand against bullying. Right there. Okay, last one. What's that last one there? Let's see, Scarlett. Bystander. Do you know what a bystander is? Really? Yeah, exactly. If the upstander stands up for bullying, what does a bystander do? Elijah? Yes, they stand by. It's like if the problem's right here and I see it and I'm like, stay over here. I don't want any part. And that's adding to the problem too, because maybe someone's hurting or maybe someone's not doing good and I'm just standing by. So when we see bullying, are we gonna try to be bystanders or upstanders? Let's see, upstanders or bystanders? Jimmy? What do you think, bystanders or upstanders for bullying? Upstanders, exactly. I hope that you guys all try to be upstanders. All right, let's go to our last little thing right here. We're gonna go to paragraphs 3 and 4. So I want you guys to start right here. Physical violence is that top one. These are our last 2 paragraphs today, then we'll go back to our work. Physical violence is not the only thing that can hurt others. Words can hurt too. Think about it. How often do you see an unkind text message or post about someone? How often do you see one student saying mean things about another, whether it's said to their face or behind their back? Words can hurt. I challenge you all to think about how you treat others this year. This includes thinking about your own behavior before you act. It also means taking a stand against behaviors that are hurtful, like teasing, spreading rumors, and posting mean messages on social media. This can have a powerful impact on keeping you and others feeling safe at school and in the community. Perfect. All right, let's hold this up really quick. Awesome, everybody close that. Now we're gonna go back to our KWL chart. Perfect. All right, so let's reread these questions that we went over. How can conflict be resolved? What is rabies? How does it relate to our bodies? How is conflict normal? So, based off of these questions, I want you guys to take a second and I want you guys to talk with your partner and see if you think we answered these questions and how we did. So, yeah, Lily and Aspen, you guys can talk together. Abraham and Alexi, you guys can talk together. Adam and Jimmy, you guys can talk together. Okay, you guys have 1 minute to talk about how this can be resolved. Look at these questions. Did we answer any? Talk about it with your partner. Did we answer all of them? Okay, perfect. You guys want to start coming back a little bit here? Back here. All right. Learned. What did you and your partners talk about? What did we learn? The Scarlet. It is about our body. How was it about it? Oh, I love that. It was about our body because it's like how our bodies treat others. How our bodies treat others. Good. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's do a few more. Bryson, Jocelyn. Oh, God. Oh, Abby's gonna run your comment. You can go on. Okay, what other things did we learn? Oh, Brooklyn, I know that you had something you wanted to add to the note column. Do you want to add that?
The upstanders and the bystanders.
Upstanders and bystanders. Yeah, that's something that we know. We kind of forgot about it. We just need a little refresher. Upstander and then bystander. Perfect. Okay, what is something that we learned? What's something that we Jocelyn from our want? Conflict is normal. I love that. Do you guys hear that? Conflict is normal. We saw in our thing that even adults have conflict. It just looks a little bit different. Conflict is normal. Okay, what's another thing we learned from our questions? Let's see. Kylie? Well, we can help each other. That's a good one. Okay, let's see. We'll do Brooklyn G and Cruz, and then we'll be done for this. Brooklyn G, what do you say? I like that. Think about our actions. Because they do have an effect on other people, huh? Our actions do have an effect. Think about our actions, okay? And then Cruz, what were you gonna say?
How can we?
How can conflict be resolved? What's one way that we learned? I want everybody to think about this. What's one way we learned that conflict can be resolved? What's a way? That's okay. I'm gonna find it. Conflict can be resolved.
By asking,
That's okay,
a teacher, your duty, or
good. Exactly. We can look at our people, we can ask a trusted adult. Conflict can be resolved because we ask a trusted adult. What's another way that we can do it? Let's see, Solon or Evelyn, sorry.
to talk about it.
Yes, you can talk about it. Exactly. Solana.
We can compromise.
Yes, that is it. That is the big money word. Compromise. I'm gonna try and squeeze it in. Compromise. Do you guys remember what compromise means? Let's see. You can tell me what. Pilot.
Like,
Come to an agreement. Come to an agreement. Perfect way to put it. A compromise means coming to an agreement. You guys work together to come to a solution that works for both of you. So let's say you and your friends are wanting to either play soccer or do the monkey bars. Maybe on Monday, you guys do the monkey bars. On Tuesday, you play soccer. Maybe at break, you do the monkey bars, and at lunch, you play soccer. See how that's a compromise? You're working together to come to a solution that works for both of you. So now we have our know, want to know, and our learned. That is a whole lot of stuff. This is a really good strategy when you guys are just wanting to get the gist of something. Because we didn't need to read through every single word on this one because we scanned it. We thought, what do we already know? So we weren't looking for this stuff, but what do we want to know? This was the stuff we didn't know. And we found all of our answers right here. Are you guys seeing that? The know, want to know, learn. Is that making sense? Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down. Everything. Thumbs in the middle, some thumbs up. Okay. It's a little tricky. We'll get better at working at it. But I'm glad that you guys participated with me. These are good questions and good answers. Yes, Steve?
and did you put a question mark after conflict?
Oh. Good
You meant
question.
to ask the question.
Conflict is normal? I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do conflict is normal! Exclamation point. Ta-da! I'll even put 2, just for good measure. Good catch. Okay, yes, Ebron. How long are you guys gonna keep these books? You guys can keep these books. You can put them in your boxes right now with your time for kids. You can read them when you would like, when it gets. Everybody put these in your boxes for me really quick. And we are gonna get ready to go out to recess really soon. Oh, okay, perfect. We're gonna get our Excel lesson done. So everybody get out these Excels really quick. Perfect. Thank you. Good job.